The US government is heading into a shutdown on the 1st of October. What does this mean for investors? What does it mean for traders? And more to the point, how did we even get here? So first of all, what is a government shutdown? This shutdown will only happen if Congress cannot agree a funding plan to move forward that the president will sign into law. It's also impossible to predict how long the shutdown could last. With Congress heavily divided at this moment, with a Democratic-led Senate and a Republican-led House, you can see how this is going to cause great disparity between people's opinions and what gets voted through.
But this is unusual because you have the President of the United States saying he doesn't want to shut down. You have Democrats in the House saying they don't want to shut down. The Senate doesn't want to shut down. The Speaker of the House doesn't want to shut down.
Right.
The people who want to shut down are a small faction of Republican hardliners who want to hold the line on spending and are willing to take the whole process hostage.
The Speaker, Kevin McCarthy, is having huge troubles at this moment in time with the hard right conservatives in the Republican Party. They are looking to use the leverage of the shutdown to push their agenda for spending cuts.
It's not September 30th. The game is not over, so we continue to work through it. And I've been at this place many times before, and we're going to solve this problem.
And many are bracing for a shutdown that could last weeks. The last shutdown we had was during Trump's presidency. So let's explore that a little bit further and how long that shutdown lasted. So the last shutdown that I experienced personally whilst trading was during late 2018, during President Trump's run, and this lasted for 36 days through late 2018 going into 2019. Now let's have a look at how this affected the US indices and see exactly what happened. So the Dow Jones 30, if we go back and we look at December 2018 going through to the first quarter of 2019, there was actually a 15% sell-off in the December period. Now this could partially be to the build-up around the fact that there could have been a government shutdown like what we're seeing now as an example, and so sort of investors and traders preempted this, and this is when the market started to slide. However, as soon as we got to around 25th, 26th, when the shutdown actually happened, we actually saw the markets completely rebound and were back 15% back to where they were previously within little over a month. So you can see how this could potentially be a quick rebound if we are to see the sell-off that happened previously in the last shutdown, bearing in mind that 36 days in the previous shutdown was quite some time. So I suppose when we're looking at this and we can see that we saw a previous 15% drop, it's a buy the dip opportunity in my opinion. You can see in my previous video that we discussed and spoke about the equities outlook from HSBC's Q4 report. So ultimately this would just be an additional buy the dip opportunity. However, from this, if there is a government shutdown, it's going to affect over 2 million military workers and 2 million civilian workers. So this affects real people's lives. 4 million plus individuals will see delayed payments at the end of the month for their checks.
Our lives don't stop during that time, you know, so we have bills, we have apartments, we have kids, we have to eat, and we don't have another source of income.
This is not acceptable, but hey, this is politics at the end of the day, so it's going to affect those individuals. So also don't forget, on top of this, it will affect businesses that are closely working with federal government, such as contractors that are working with the federal government. A lot of tourist services are contractors to the federal government, and this can affect them because obviously contractors will not be getting paid if the federal government have no budget and they shut down. So any federal contractor that is working with them will be out of pocket, and also these tourist services will be affected. This could lead to over $140 million in tourism lost per day. Goldman Sachs have given their opinion on the government shutdown, and if it happens, every week that the government is shut down, they will lose 0.2% economic growth. So this could rattle financial markets. We could see a potential 15% drop like we saw in the previous example. But they also stated that as soon as the government is funded and reopen again, they expect that to rebound. Again, reinforcing exactly what my anticipation was around a buy the dip, and it's nice to see that Goldman Sachs also agree with that outlook. Congress usually relies on CR, which is continuing resolution, which is a stopgap to stop the government from basically shutting down, and it allows the government to keep things open as they are without increasing the budgets. Hardline Republicans have turned around and said that temporary bills is not an option this time. This is why a lot of people are anticipating the shutdown to happen on October the 1st. They're also pushing to keep the government shut down until Congress approves all of the 12 bills that fund the government. This historically is a long process, and at the earliest it'll probably get completed in December. So if that's the case, we have got a long shutdown on the horizon. And most importantly, we've obviously got 2024 elections coming up, and Trump is pushing on those hardline Republicans to stand by their word. And if they're successful, this shutdown could last weeks, if not longer, especially historically it's taken so long to pass the 12 bills previously. And again, earliest is that we're looking at December. So ultimately, is this an opportunity for you guys to be able to buy the dip on equities? It looks likely. We also know that if a shutdown happens, the shutdown is not going to be permanent. So this is going to be a short-term volatility spike within the US indices, and it may roll over to global markets. So this could be an opportunity going through October, maybe early November, if the shutdown does last that long, to be able to buy into a dip that could be 15% discounted on an index level. So this is something that I'll be keeping eyes on and be monitoring the news around US shutdowns and any developing stories from the Republican hardliners specifically. If you've enjoyed this video about understanding what can happen during a US federal shutdown, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, like button, and let me know if you're looking for those equity buys.